left on the cutting room floor anyway, not to worry. All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Hello? Are you ready? Then we'll begin.
It's saints and souls and change. Oh my, we have plenty to talk about on this episode, so hang on. Here we go with Monday Morning Catholic, episode number 94.
6:30 Monday morning, I'm here hiding in my bed. A song plays on my alarm clock as I cover up my head. Somewhere in the distance, I remember yesterday.
Yesterday, lots of saints. Today, lots of souls. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Monday Morning Catholic. We love to have you here. This is episode 94. I am your host and moderator, Joanne Mercier, and hail, hail, the gang's all here. We love to have everybody back. I know you've missed them all at one time or another. So the one who's been here, who hasn't been here in the past couple of weeks, we'll catch up first. So Steve Romano, St. Augustine's Parish in Providence, Rhode Island. Good morning, Steve. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We've missed you, Stephen.
I know.
And you've missed me hacking. So believe me, you haven't missed much. But we're glad to have you back. I'm sure we're going to hear some stories, hopefully. We like stories here. Remember that.
A few, yeah.
But of course, the ones who've been here with me the last couple of weeks, Linda Reed, St. Thomas Parish in Providence, Rhode Island. Good morning, Linda. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm all right.
Good. You survived the Halloween weekend.
I survived Halloween weekend.
Yes, well, we'll tell you about her family in a minute. And then there's Nancy Smith, St. Teresa, St. Christopher in Tiverton, Rhode Island. Good morning, Nance. How you doing?
Good morning, Joanne. I'm doing well. Good morning, everybody. Morning, Steve and Linda.
Yeah, now I've got everybody wondering, what's she going to talk about?
Yeah.
With Linda's family. Linda's family is very theatrical. So if you follow them on Facebook, you follow all of their antics, and Halloween is a very special time for them, and it is for Linda as well.
Yes.
Because she has a child born on Halloween.
I have a child born on Halloween, yes.
Yes.
I was scheduled to go to a Halloween party that night and never made it.
Really?
Yes, I had bought an orange sheet, and I was going to go as the Great Pumpkin. Because that's exactly what I looked like. So.
And then she gave birth.
And Becca had other ideas, so.
She did.
I have my little Halloween baby. At certain days she was my little pumpkin. On certain days she was my little witch.
And as only a mother can love.
Yes.
Yes.
With all her heart.
Yes. Well, the rest of the family got dressed up as Back to the Future.
The rest of the family did an homage to Back to the Future, and they're just. It's not just they dress up in costume, but they assume the characters. So, my grandchildren were running around. My granddaughter was Doc. She was running around with this hair going in every direction. Pictures. So it was fun. Pictures are on Facebook. Go look them up.
There you go. And then, of course, Stephen, who gives out the regular size candy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you. And it's funny because all the kids, as they round the corner, you know where I live on the corner, you can hear them. Oh, this is the house that gives out the big candy.
Whoa!
But we only, it's funny. I don't know. It doesn't seem like we don't get as many kids as we used to. But
no.
So
we did this year. Last year,
we got about 60.
Yeah, we got about 75 to 100. They come in like flocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They come in packs.
They come in packs, flocks, gaggles, whatever. But last year was a Friday night, and it was literally dead, no pun intended.
Yeah.
This year they were out in droves. In fact, we stopped at 8 because we were just about out out of candy, and they were still coming. And so, I don't know. Nancy, you live in a quiet area. Did you get a lot of...
I couldn't tell you because we were at my niece's daughter's birthday party in Easton, and they had kids galore.
There you go.
In Bridgewater. We were in Bridgewater.
A lot of people now close the house and go out.
As I drove home from Mass last night, I said that to my wife. I said, they literally just about abandoned their houses.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And in the old days, that would be deadly because kids would have them. And
aid you or toilet paper you.
Matter of fact, I almost got a dozen eggs myself and went around the neighborhood.
Oh!
But then I decided not to. So.
Right.
Well, see, because of our family birthday, I was over at my son's having a birthday party for my daughter, so we didn't get back home until like 7:45. And between 8 and 8:30, we had maybe 20 kids. And that was it.
Yeah.
So when the trick-or-treaters are taller than I am, it's when I shut the lights out.
My husband feels the same way.
Yeah.
Because he likes to see the little ones. Best costume we saw was a family. What, Nance? What?
Jake, the State Farm guy.
Oh no!
I'm Jake from State Farm.
Okay, online, that was the best one.
I love that.
That was so simple and innovative and just cute.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Best one that came to my door though was a family dressed up. Get this, they have twin boys. Okay, as Luigi and Mario. Twin boys, and it's funny because their real names are Luca and Mason.
Oh, jeez.
So they had the hats and everything in the cars.
Yeah.
Mom was dressed up as the princess.
Oh, jeez.
And Dad was dressed up as the Green Dragon.
Another family into.
It was. Halloween. I thought that was the best coming to my house group that I had seen.
Well, the best costume that came to my son's door was again a set of twin boys. They were Thing 1 and Thing 2.
Oh, there you go.
How cute.
They were darling. They had little like red feety pajamas on and blue wigs, and they were really cute.
One of my friends posted two babies were dressed up as two peas in a pod.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
We had a kid show up. Beth said, all dressed from head to toe in red. So I said, is it supposed to be a blood clot, or what is it supposed to be? I don't know.
What was he supposed to be?
Actually, Beth, what was he supposed to be? She doesn't even know.
No idea.
So, no.
A blood clot.
But I tell you, one of these years, I want to get dressed up as a big Hershey's Kiss.
Just wrap yourself in tinfoil.
And like complete with the silver tights and all that. You know what I mean?
No.
So
here's what we have to do. We have to get we've got to get the Reed family.
Yes.
And everybody I can get, come over to my house, okay? And we'll do Thriller on my lawn.
Oh yeah, man.
Okay.
Like my son and my grandson know the dance.
Do the entire dance. Okay. I think that would freak my neighbors out.
Yeah,
so
it probably would.
Well, it's because next door I have a kid who likes to dress up in a Freddy Krueger mask.
Oh.
And jump out of bushes and scare little kids. So I want to have the opposite.
Yeah.
Have something else next door just to kind of counteract that, because they go over there and they're like, the kids are all scared and they start passing our house and we're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Them. So
we'll have a dance on the front lawn.
Well, as long as Kevin doesn't get upset yet.
On his lawn.
You have to dance in the right pattern.
Oh, that was a good one, Nan.
Why does he really love his grass?
Yes.
Well, he's the one who takes care of our landscaping, but usually at this time of the year he says it's dead anyway, they can walk on it.
Okay.
Joe, I'm forever the marching band person, so
there you go. Next year, my house. We'll do that, and we'll do Time Warp from Little Rocky Horror Show.
Oh, jeez.
Why not?
And I'll just show up in the background as this big Hershey's Kiss.
No, everybody's got to be dressed as a zombie or a character from Rocky Horror. So I'll take either or. Well, and Halloween is very Catholic.
Yes.
As they continue all week on Facebook.
Despite what Pat Robertson says.
That's true. I'm not going there.
Oh, I mean, how much joy is there in life? Who the hell cares if you want to go out and get some candy with a pillowcase or something,
Really?
I know, but, and we're going to talk about some of that kind of change.
Yes, coming up.
But for those of you who think that we just sit around and talk about things like Catholic Weekend. Ooh. No, we have a little bit more. We're a little bit more structured.
A little more structure, yes.
Some days, although right now we're way off.
If this is your first time joining us.
Yes, really. If this is your first time joining us, don't go by the Halloween stuff.
Don't despair.
Truly. We come here every week to look back at the weekend's liturgies, and this was a really good weekend to have a lot of things to talk about. Yeah. So we are, All Saints, Masses of Remembrances. We take a look at the homilies especially, and we also talk about other things, and we let our viewers and listeners like you go to our Facebook page and tell us what you'd like us to hear us talk about. So we'll be talking about all of those things in less than an hour or so. So we try, sometimes we fail. But you know what? We have to keep moving because this week we've got feedback. And we have feedback from two different kinds of feedback. So this is good. They're getting there. All right, first one, believe it or not, is voice feedback.
Yay!
It's about time. One of our listeners, Tiffany from Buffalo, got really brave. So, well, actually, no, I think this is the second time we've had voice feedback.
I think it was from her.
Well, she may be the only brave person in the bunch.
Yeah.
But we'll take it. So here is Tiffany's feedback for us.
Hi, Monday Morning Catholic crew. This is Tiffany from Buffalo, and feel free to use this audio feedback on the show, although I'm sick and so my voice sounds a little raspy. But Joanne had mentioned on the last episode ideas for your 100th episode. And so I had one real quick, and I have been listening now, it's been a while, but I did start somewhere in the middle, and I didn't go back and listen to all of the earlier episodes, of which there were many, and so I thought that it would be interesting on the 100th episode to talk about, for each of you, how you became involved in this podcast enterprise. What was your inspiration for starting Monday Morning Catholic? And or, in terms of your faith story, I think you're all cradle Catholics, and so what was it in your faith life that was your inspiration for your Catholic faith such a huge part of your identity and your life, since you're all involved in ministry? So I thought either or both of those things would be really nice additions to your 100th episode. I wanted to share that. I hope that you're all doing very well. I hope, Joanne, that you're feeling better, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little better.
Well, she sounds nice.
I like that, Tiffany.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
There were two ideas there, actually.
I like those ideas.
Okay, there were two ideas there. Yeah. And no, Tiffany, one of us is not like the others.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah,
I am not a cradle Catholic.
There we go.
Nancy's not a cradle Catholic. But I think it's a good idea. There's two ideas there. One I could actually see using for the 100th show. And the other one I could see leading up to the 100th show. Because... Nice
ideas, Tiffany. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like those ideas, and I think we're going to use both of them. But I'm thinking, the one thing about us is the one thing about podcasting is that people really want to identify with the people they listen to. So sometimes we don't, and it's partially the way the show is made. It's also partially we haven't really thought about it, but they don't know us very well. And I find, especially podcasts that I'm drawn to listening to, I've really gotten to know these people over
Well, we had talked about, I think, but we never got around to do it, the getting to know you thing.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
No.
Yes.
No.
This is true.
But we never actually did it, so we got sidetracked by scripture. Oh, horrors.
True. True. But I think as part of the evangelization process, I think maybe now's the time to do some of that. I think, we're going on 2 years now, and it can't hurt at this point. If you're still with us after 2 years, God bless you, and maybe now you can get to know us.
Yeah.
How many are we up to, Joanne? 14?
Yeah.
Of what? Joe's episodes?
No, how many people actually listen?
Yeah, 14.
Let's not count last week.
Okay.
Because last week, and I hate to say, and I'll say this publicly.
Oh God.
When Linda shares it, we get over 100.
Oh, and
wow.
Linda didn't share
When Linda doesn't share it.
Oh, Linda forgot.
We had 12 last week.
Oh no.
What do you mean when you say Linda shares it?
Share.
On my Facebook wall.
Oh, share. I thought you said chair.
No,
Okay.
the woman has some kind of magical power.
Not really, but I just have a lot of friends.
Exactly. And I don't share it on my own Facebook page only because I have family on it. And that's my family they're not interested. And you can share.
No, I have to say, my family's, they're like, you have what? I said, we have a podcast.
Yeah.
About what? I said, I said, it's about work. And they go, oh, okay,
Yeah, leave it at that.
But I have my family on there too.
Yeah.
But I post it anyway. I don't care.
Yeah, because you have way more friends that listen to it, apparently.
Evidently.
We're from what I can understand on the Google metrics, we're upwards somewhere around 200 subscribers.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
Holy smokes.
Now, does that mean they listen every week? Not really.
Right.
We have some people who binge listen. We have some people who follow us every week. We have some people who come in and leave, and others replace them. So the average is around somewhere between 150 and 200.
Okay.
So that's gone down because our highest was 600.
Well, maybe after we do getting to know you, it might go down further. No. It might come back up.
But I just think that this is a good time, I think, to do it as we're going into the next, into year 3, since we've done years 1 and 2 now.
Dear Lord.
Has it been that long?
Yes, it has. I can't believe it.
Steve, the 100th show is December.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I wasn't good at math. You're right. 100.
Whatever the date is, 13. Yeah.
Musicians only need to count to 4, right?
Or 7. Or 12. No, we're coming up to the 100th episode on December 13th.
Wow.
So that's huge for us.
Yeah.
For any podcast, the first 100 is where you make or break it. So far we're making it.
Okay.
Making it till we make it, whatever it is. But both of those ideas are good, Tiffany, and I think we both. So thank you, and thank you for being so brave.
Yes.
Cold and all. But that's not the only feedback we got, Linda.
No, we got some more.
Yeah. Hey. So 2 and 1.
We got some more from our friend in Yakima. Hello, John. John sent us all kinds of things. In the "you can't make this stuff up" category, we got, "I will gather them back from the ends of the world, with the blind and the lame in their midst, the mothers and those with child. They shall return as an immense throng."
Another Lecter snafu.
Oh, talk about an air on the G string, huh?
Yeah.
Whoa, it's getting worse.
That's right. Yes, he said he had a hard time keeping a straight face, and I can understand.
I bet everybody in the church had a problem with that one.
I'm just trying to sit there imagining an immense thong.
Oh, no visuals, please.
Oh, God.
No snap sound.
No, I don't have one, and I won't use it.
Anyway, moving on along to the 30th Sunday, he said that the pastor preached at all the masses, started out with an outline of the gospel narrative, and noted that Jesus granted Bartimaeus' request to see justice and peace in others and himself. If Jesus came down the aisle, what would we ask for? Would we have the same request to see justice and peace in others and in ourselves? But, he said, this weekend his pastor wore his Monsignor power suit because at the masses that he did not celebrate, this was kickoff Sunday for ACA, and I don't know what that means. It must be some kind of fundraising.
Usually this is charity appeal time.
Yes. So he said it's one of the 2 Sundays during the year when we talk about money, and he said, you know, we need to the pastor went into that. Not all parishes can make much of a contribution to the diocesan work of spreading Jesus' message, and he mentioned the names of several poorer parishes, and so we need to set an example for the rest of the diocese, and that was this little talk about money. He sent a music program that they did, and if you're not a musician, that's okay. You might sing this stuff anyway. The opening hymn was Jesus Lead the Way. They did a chant setting for the glory to God. The responsorial psalm was 126, Richard Prue. A blind man sat beside the road. I thought sounds like that comes from worship in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it does.
Life-giving bread, saving cup for communion, and your hands, O Lord, in days of old. I don't know that one. Anyway, that was the music that he did, and then he has a paragraph about misunderstanding in who was going to play at a particular mass. And it looked like it wound up the pastor played while someone else celebrated the liturgy, some other priest.
Goodness, this pastor does everything.
Yeah, I guess. He said his pastor had been a pastoral musician since his teens.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
But he calls him, he says he's rather heavy-fingered. As there is no difference between his playing 2 half notes or 1 whole note.
An organist thing.
We in the congregation are out of practice with him as an organist and have trouble keeping the proper pace without cues from the organ. We know there's no dust left in any organ after the pastor's playing.
Plays loudly.
We have one at each end of the church. He opens them wide to encourage congregational singing.
Wall boxes.
Congregation expectations. Might this be a music discussion topic? What can the congregation expect from the accompanist? And lastly, evidently there's marvelous acoustics in his cathedral. They have a terrazzo floor, concrete walls, wooden pews, open beam roof, and no carpet in sight. Nice. So it's a very bright space. And it's evidently the Yakima Symphony Chorus likes to practice and sing there. And a lot of organists like to come and do recitals or concerts at their cathedral.
Nice.
Thank you, John. I feel like I know all about Yakima now.
No, but he does bring up a good point about what should congregations expect from the
What should they expect from their accompanist?
Yeah, and I've been out the last 3 Saturdays accompanying a different congregation, and yeah, the first week was kind of iffy because, of course, my intros are probably different than theirs. But by the 3rd week, we were all fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and Joanne, I think if I can chime in, I think
pipe right in there.
No, I think it's a good point. I think part of like what I'm experiencing now is the parish is getting they're learning how to trust my playing style.
Yeah.
For introductions and things like that. So I do think you do build a relationship with the people in the pews over time. Because I've had comments made to me and say, because people face forward. I've always been in a loft. They'll say, we knew you had a sub from the first note.
Yeah.
And I've always said to I never understood that. But it's true. Everybody has a different touch. So.
Yes.
And I think some people play softer if that's normal to them. I have a faster internal clock. So I tend to play things either a little bit faster hymn-wise or I like to play what the composers asked us to play at.
Yeah.
Usually, which puts me at odds with like half the congregations around here.
Yes.
And I have a heavy foot, so I give it the gas.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And you're an organist where you will open those swell boxes.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid.
You're not.
Yep.
I'm only half afraid. Because if I think the congregation can handle it, I will. If not, then.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, because if you play too loudly, you discourage, you drown them out.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't play loud enough, they
Right.
feel exposed and they won't sing.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
And then if you're a guest organist and you're not sure which piston is and which is not, and Stephen is already laughing because he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because, usually when you go and you don't have a lot of time to run through the pistons. And
common sense tells you go from 1 through 10, soft to loud.
Exactly. However,
but some people like to play games and they put random ones in between.
Yeah, I had that happen my first week where I was subbing. I hit number 2.
Oh boy.
Number 2 is going to be halfway decent. I got all the brass.
Oh jeez.
I was like, no. And of course, that's at the beginning of a piece, and I'm like,
right. I like, especially where I am. We have the party horns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the party horns are usually on 9 or 10.
Well, true, but I went through the memory bank, and there were a few I had to set, take them off because the party horns were on pretty early. So.
Oh, that's a bit much.
Yeah. By the way, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, party horns. There's not an organ stop that says party horn.
Right.
It's usually either festival trumpet or the trumpet on Shemad, which are the.
Right.
If you look at the organ case, are the pipes that stick out horizontally.
Yeah, if they look like a trumpet.
And they make a hell of a lot of noise.
Yeah.
That's the on Shemad, if it looks like a trumpet.
Yes.
And it's not going up with the other pipes, but going
out.
I will tell you when it works well. When you have a church full of people at a wedding or a first communion and you try to get their attention.
Yeah.
I used it several times, and boy, it shuts them right up.
Exactly.
Well, they can't hear each other anymore. But you've given me a nice idea. Thank you.
As much as
God knows that I love my music.
I think we have to move on.
Okay.
Thank you, John. You gave us a lovely spirited conversation on music, which we could do a whole podcast on, but that's a whole other story for another day. All right. So thank you for the feedback, and we could use even more. We like feedback. So please, MondayMorningCatholic@gmail.com is our email address. Please use it. Or you could leave some feedback at MondayMorningCatholic.net in the comment boxes that are attached to each of our episodes. You can go to our Facebook page if you're brave, facebook.com/MondayMorningCatholic, and put something there for us. Or, wrong one. No, wrong one. There it is. That's what happens when you can't see. You can't really see what you're looking at. You can call us at the voice feedback line, 774-955-0659, just like Tiffany did, whether you have a cold or not, and we'll be happy to listen to you. And I put nice music behind you, so it's not, all boring. All right, let us move on, please, to basically the highlight of what we do here.
Do you hear what I hear?
Do you hear what I hear? For the solemnity of All Saints. Wow. I love having, our pastor was right this weekend by saying he likes to have this feast on the weekend because it means so much and people get a chance to hear it, because Holy Days of Obligations, most people don't feel it's an obligation anymore.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have these readings. And of course, people probably didn't even notice that the first reading was from Revelation.
Oh, I noticed. Of course, I heard it.
Your normal everyday Catholic is used to hearing the Old Testament.
Right.
I was singing "The Worthy is the Lamb" the whole time.
So was I.
To receive power and
Yep. I was doing a couple different versions. I know a couple different versions. So, but it's this big beatific vision of heaven, or whatever John was smoking. Did I say that? At the time? No, John had the Book of Revelation is basically John's vision to the end of the world and the age that is to come. So that is his. What we got this morning was a little taste of that vision. And it gets interesting with the 144,000 and the 4 horsemen and the scrolls.
Yeah.
It gets a little. Somebody asked me once why the number 144,000.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I could think of was that it was 12 squared.
Yeah, it's 12 times 12.
Right.
And 12 tribes of Israel.
Right. That's the only thing I could think of. So I was like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Psalm 24 was the psalm this past weekend. Lord, this is the people that longs to see your face. The only one I've ever used because I like it happens to be Kevin Kyle.
Yes.
And I really like that arrangement out of Gather.
It's out of Gather, yeah.
Out of Gather Comp 3, I think.
It's in Gather Comp 3, but it's also in Gather Comp.
Right. I've used it for years. I happen to like that piece. You used what? An original?
No, it's Junkus who said it.
Junkus. All right. What did everybody else use?
Psalm of the Day, I used the version from the Cry of the Poor series. It's Cry of the Poor. Cry Out with Joy.
Oh, yeah.
It's so close. It's so close.
So close. Which is, geez, that'll get me in trouble. But it's a very lovely, simple enough melody, and so we learned that to do this weekend.
Nice.
I'm trying to evaluate that series to see whether the investment is worth it.
I've been using some out of there too, Nancy. I've used a couple by Stephen Pishner, and I really liked them.
Well, this is the first shot, and it's a matter of just adding up the resources that I feel we would need.
Yep.
Versus what percentages is that of my whole budget?
And for techies, you can get it through the GIA hymnal, I believe, series. The Cry Out with Joy.
Joy. I've got you thinking now, huh?
No, I was trying to make sure I had the right that series and a few other series are in their GIA hymnal app.
Yeah.
You get the Gimon, you can get the Gospel Acclamations, you can get 2 or 3 others as well. I think.
What about the Lyric Psalter with Tony Alonso and Marty Hogan?
Mm-hmm. You can get that one too through their app. So just another medium to think about.
Go ahead. That's what we did. That's what we did.
And Steve?
The one that's in the back of the music issue, that I think it's Timothy Smith.
Okay.
Psalm 24.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Lord, this is the people that longs to see your face. That one.
Okay.
Right. That's
very Broadway. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not the
refrain's a little tricky, but people pick it up.
Well, if they have it in front of them, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If it isn't something you've done for years, and especially in your case, this is all new to them. If they have it in front of them.
I've kind of been alternating. Some weeks I'll do what's in front of them in the missalette, and other weeks I'll do something that's in the back of the music issue.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of go back and forth, but I won't do anything that's not available for them in their hands.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree.
No, not where you are.
No.
I can pull almost anything out of the hat and they'll sing it.
Yeah.
Because we've been singing psalms, with nothing in front of them for ages.
Right.
So, I'm in a position to be able to do that, which is what I did this morning.
It works.
Yeah, everybody sang it. So.
By the third refrain, it works.
No, actually, they were doing pretty good.
No, I'm kidding. With this group, yeah. With any other group, probably not.
They were doing pretty good. So.
1 John, first letter of St. John, chapter, which is one we've all heard before. This section, we are God's children now. What we will be later. But it's one that we do here at funerals.
Mm.
It's one of the prescribed for funerals. And then, of course, Matthew 5, the Beatitudes. Yes, we can all sing, blessed are they.
Yes.
And did everybody use Blessed Are They?
We certainly did.
Yep.
Yes.
And I tried out some of my baby choir members this morning. Did you notice? Weren't they cute?
They were very cute.
Yes.
Especially when trying to read the different verses.
Yeah.
I caught your face on that. That's why. You know, it's one of those things. Musicians, if you're trying to read the line,
yeah,
some editions don't have them very well put out.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to flip to another verse.
Well, the choral praise book, verse 3, is on the opposite page.
What?
Oh, jeez.
Because it's a soprano alto harmony part.
Yeah.
Soprano alto duet.
So I always, you know, when we were going over it, I said, now 1, 2, 4, 5 are on the left page. Verse 3 is on its own on the bottom of the right page.
Mm-hmm.
So please make a note of that.
Yeah.
You know.
Get out your highlighters.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to do that. All right, so we have this vision of saints, okay, and what we need to be a saint. And I think that's for those people who don't make it to the Holy Day of Obligation, which was probably not in 11 years they'll get to hear about this.
Yeah.
So what do we hear? I have no homily. I was with Linda. So I leave it up to the rest of you. Who would like to go first?
Well, I usually go first, so I'll keep that going.
Right.
But I'm by my notes are on the iPad. So
she's got it.
Give me a minute. It's here.
Yeah,
Okay.
She has to get her little face here. So
this week I've seen a lot of my grandson who has been ill, with kind of sort of what you might have been having, Joanne. So I'm kind of an incubus right now, and so I have been coughing and such. So I decided to watch a TV mass instead of spreading what might potentially be brewing with other people.
And smart you are.
And which I wish more people would do sometimes. But nonetheless, I was sad that it was All Saints, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So this man started talking about the saints and all of the saints that have gone before us, and even those that weren't saints that are still have gone before us. And he talked a lot about them as super spiritual healers, and I like that vision with the cape and the whole thing, you know, heading up to heaven. He talked about the incredible vision of God that is given to us through the gospel and such, and the amount of great things that God prepares for all of us. And segueing into the Beatitudes from there, talking about it being a recipe for all of us, a recipe to holiness. And I'm sure we hear it every year, but sometimes we need to hear it every week. So that we don't know where people are coming from, where they're sitting right now, what struggles that they have in their personal lives, whether it be sickness, relationship challenges. We all have our own lists of what we're dealing with. And but Beatitudes help us go through life and still try and stay on the path of potential sainthood. I started to say perpetual sainthood. That's
well, that's what
whole
we
different bottle wax.
Good too.
That's true. That's true too. And his last line was something like, "We are soldiers of Christ and allowed by God to support each and every one of us as we are doing our things." Doing what he's asking us to do through Jesus. So it was pretty cool. It was a snippet, but I love the visual of super spiritual healers and looking at the Beatitudes as what we need every day to navigate the life that we have, navigate the good, the bad, the indifferent, the struggles, the challenges.
And guess who forgot again?
I thought I heard a phone.
Yeah, I know. It's my phone again. I really am taking this phone out of here. I have to.
Is that like, Joanne, you still have a house phone?
Yes, yeah. I do too.
It's so funny when I hear house phones now. It's so odd because we don't have one.
Yeah.
So.
No, we still do. As much as I am, technically adapted a lot of things, I still believe in the emergency issue you can have with cell phones.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I think having a home phone, especially if you dial 911 from your home phone, they know exactly where you are.
Yeah.
As opposed to from your cell phone.
Yeah.
So we keep even my husband keeps saying, why do we have this?
Yeah.
And I keep saying, someday you'll thank me.
Yes, right.
So that's the.
Well, he should have when you had the issue about a month or 2 or 3 ago.
Mm.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Or the day we had the second episode was the second episode ever of this podcast, and our carbon monoxide blew.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't home. So yeah, you need it for stuff like that.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just hang my head out the window and just yell help. I guess I don't know.
I don't have to do that. Just for that, Stephen, you can go next.
You can go next.
Thank you, Nancy.
Well,
that was good by the way, Nancy.
It's actually very similar. He started with question: do you know any saints? And my cat is saying hello. Here he is.
Hi, Sebastian. I thought I saw a cat here. Hi, Sebastian.
He said, do you know any saints? And he was joking, and he said, as you look around the church, somebody might be saying, "Oh, that woman's a saint for putting up with that man," or that man's a saint for putting up with that woman.
Yeah.
And the mass that I really paid close attention to was he did like a children's homily where he invites the kids up. So he asked them all kinds of questions. What qualities you need to become saint. To become a saint. And then he segued exactly what Nancy said into the recipe of the Beatitudes to be saints. And he said, it's not, people think it's all the great things and the lofty things. He said, but he said there's saints with capital S and small s.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of the direction he went. But I'll tell you, I don't think we don't give the kids enough credit. They're very smart when it comes to the Catholicism and stuff.
Mm.
Oh, he asked them, please name give me 2 saints. And so one kid sent Saint Joseph, and the other one said Saint, is it
Isidore of Seville?
No. Tharsis?
Catharsis.
I don't know. Saint, I can't even pronounce it. But he actually admitted, he goes, I don't know too much about that one.
Oh, jeez. The kid came out with an obscure saint.
I think it began with a T, like Tharsis or somebody. I don't know.
Tharsis.
My.
I don't know.
It wouldn't be Saint Cathartic. That's no such thing,
No,
right?
that's
Saint.
not.
No.
No. Saint Cathartic?
No.
Good Lord.
It was, but anyway, it stumped him, so he was impressed that the kid had this name, So, and that was basically, he just kind of reiterated that. He said, there's saints with capital S and small s, and then of course he ended, who among you, who do you know to be saints, and that's kind of how he ended it.
Mm.
Right.
So.
Well, good. I mean, yeah, kids do. If you've ever had a chance to watch, there's this show on Catholic TV called Wow, and it's a challenge for school kids, and they come on and they're tackling some really tough sacramentals and prophets, and it's a game show, it's a quiz show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you ever watch, it's on Catholic TV. You can go to.
I should send Tyler on there.
They're all from schools. They all compete from schools, like Catholic schools in the Archdiocese of Boston. So I think they've expanded a little bit, but it's a really good show to see these kids. Some of them are just memorizing stuff, but
I'd pick Tyler against anybody for Bible.
Yeah, probably would. But no, so we're moving along the saint line here. Although Nancy's Caped Crusader right now is still catching. What was that title?
It was the first thing out of his mouth, and that was my image.
What was the line again?
Pardon me. The super spiritual healing.
Say
healer.
that 3 times fast.
Yeah, super spiritual healing.
That's
I can't
tough.
say it at all.
That's
I wrote it down. That's why I had to make sure.
That's why we like to watch the TV Mass, and we can stop it and rewind.
Right, yeah, write it down.
All right, Linda, you've got the
I've got the pastor's homily. Yes, I do. He begins by saying, I have to admit that I'm so glad this Feast of All Saints falls on a Sunday this year. As a holy day of obligation, the feast is celebrated during the week, and I must admit, with a lot of chagrin, that not many folks feel obligated anymore to attend those Masses. So I'm glad because this feast is really about the little guys and the little gals. This feast is about those saints, I suppose the saints with a small s, Stephen, who do not have a feast day on the Roman calendar, in addition to the biggies. Rather, they are the saints of the small towns in Italy, or the villages in France, or the cities in Ireland. They are the folks who truly live out the Beatitudes of today's gospel. When we speak of saints, we are reminded that they are the ones whose robes have been washed clean with the blood of the Lamb. For they are not perfect people, but people who had total trust in God. And he expanded on that a little bit more at various Masses, but he said, nobody's perfect, not even the saints.
That's right.
He said, if you go and read any of the lives of the saints, you're going to find that they were not without sin, but they had total trust in God. The reason we have this feast today is not only to honor those women and men who have gone before us, marked by the sign of faith, but also to allow them to inspire us that we may follow their example. Being a saint means we have to find ways to live out the Beatitudes. Everybody kind of liked the Beatitudes, which is why we all sang Blessed Are They. We have to try our best to trust in our God of love. On this feast day, I think of those people in my life who have saintly qualities. They reach out to help others. They try their best not to be judgmental. They spend quality time with God in prayer. And they are the ones that people can depend on any time, day or night. All of us have those saints in our lives, and we honor them by trying to pattern our lives on theirs. On this feast day, we are reminded that we are indeed God's children, and because we are His children, we are challenged to live, love, and be a certain way. Let us take some time today to reflect on those who have been saints in our lives, and maybe as well we can get online and look up some of those little saints and learn more about their stories. And he talked about the website Catholic.com, where it has every saint in the world.
.org.
.org, yeah.
Yeah, let's make sure, because Catholic.com could be something else.
You never know. Yes,
so I will definitely look that up from
he tells the confirmation kids to go there if they want to look up a confirmation name.
Right.
And learn about their stories and allow them to inspire us to be the best that we can possibly be.
And you know me, right now I'm looking up Catholic.org that everything is okay. Because if not, we're in big trouble. No, talk about at our Mass. He mentioned that his right hand was a second-class relic.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. That was an addendum. He didn't have that in the script.
Okay. Yeah, he mentioned that because he met and shook John Paul II's hand.
Yes.
So, all right, Catholic.com is Catholic Answers. All right, I've seen them before. They're real.
Okay, go to Catholic.org.
Yeah, that's the one I think it is, because I have the same type of confirmation kids.
Okay, there you go.
So Catholic.org, is Catholic Online.
Okay.
Which immediately has the saints.
And you can go see all kinds of saints.
So there it is.
Some of their stories are very fascinating.
Oh yeah, I like the ones that fly around the room and.
No.
it's really tough because, you know, we do saints every month in our Generations of Faith program because we want to introduce our children and adults to the different saints.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to do some of them. Like this month I was really trying to find, you know, a good story that would go with it that I can show, because we usually show a video with it. Well, what do you do with somebody like Saint Cecilia, for example? Now, I am going to show Saint Cecilia.
Didn't she play the organ?
Yeah.
No, she played the guitar.
Cecilia's problem is that they tried to kill her like 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
How do you explain that? But then you've got Andrew, who's the end of the month, who, you know, died on a cross.
An X cross.
An X cross.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you're trying to find the thing that the kids won't like giggle too much about.
Well,
Right.
I mean, Cecilia, for one thing, they couldn't even cut her head off, so that's...
Right. So, you tell kids that, and the parents go, yeah, I don't want my kid
I know.
to... But then the kid's playing Halo 3, you know.
And nobody knows why she's the patroness of music.
Because she used to sing, apparently.
Apparently, she used to sing and made reference to something about God singing in her heart.
Right.
But all the depictions of her show her playing something, either an organ or a
Well,
lute.
I thought she played the organ down the street, the church down the street.
Down the
So.
Perhaps.
Okay. All right, so we can see where all...
No, it's true. It's true. I've all the stained glass work I've seen, it's always her seated at an organ.
Mm-hmm.
That's really odd. Yeah, it's funny.
Go Google her. You'll see her playing a lute a lot.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I should have said
Well,
lute. Yes.
Well, look, when you've got saints, you know, saints for migraines, saints for television, saints for the... I mean, Isidore of Seville, internet, you know, Claire, television. I mean...
Yeah. Television wasn't even anywhere near...
Yeah,
Claire.
but with her, she saw a vision on the wall of Christmas Mass while it was happening. So that's how she got...
I can remember as a high school kid, we had a teacher. He would always say before an exam, St. Jude, Saint of the Impossible, pray for us.
You know, but see, those are the big saints, and then there's the rest of us who are all trying to make saint. So that's all of this that we do, all of this that we hear, and all these things are supposed to help us to become saints.
Yes.
God help us all.
God help us all, is right.
Definitely need the help. All right. Which I think this is now going into the last segment for today, because we went afield way too many times. So we'll save the other stuff we had probably for next week. But let's move on to...
The voice of the people cannot be denied.
Yes, it's time for the voice of the people. And the voice of the people on our Facebook community decided they wanted us to talk about why are some Catholics so afraid of change.
Oy vey.
Thank you so much.
Go, Stephen.
Go, Stephen. You got it. Because, you know, this whole thing with the synod, and I'm going to write, you know, here I go. You know, here I go.
Here she goes.
Yep. Yeah. This whole thing with the synod.
Yeah.
And how much crap came out of it. You know.
Oh, every day.
Okay. This is why conclaves and synods should not be covered by press.
Yeah.
Because, look, this is a Holy Spirit thing. It cannot be at all, in any sense. Are you all still there? Because I heard something.
Yep.
No,
I am.
All right, good. It cannot be measured in the same terms as a political caucus or a political convention or any kind of thing like that. This is something where the Spirit comes in, and everybody is interpreting the Spirit sometimes a little differently.
Yes.
And you have to wait until it's done, and then you still sit on it some more before you get your final definitive results.
Right.
And so much leaked and so much crap came out of it that I don't think anyone's going to take this synod seriously, which they need to.
Yeah.
All right? And that's why, but that begs the question, because of it, why are some Catholics so afraid of change? And I just think there are people in this world for whom they believe the only thing constant is change. Thank you, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Or this is what I learned. That's it. This is where I'm staying.
Yeah.
And I think my fear is it's going to polarize and divide this church that we love so much.
Yeah.
Even already more than it already is.
Already is, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't remember or don't think about or maybe never learned, and it was something that at the end of that article, there was change at the very beginning of the church from what was the norm forever.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be where we are now unless there were changes from at the beginning. Paul making, and it was huge. We would still be the Jewish faith, essentially, is what the guy was saying, and I believe that to be probably pretty close. Yeah.
We would still not be able to eat bacon if it wasn't for St. Paul.
There were a huge amount of changes that came by through Jesus' teaching and that type of such that were contrary to what was going on at that time, and the changes were necessary for humanity.
Well, I think the thing we need to remember from that particular article, and if you haven't read it yet, please go read it. There are 3 levels in this church: dogma, doctrine, and practice.
Yep.
Okay? And not every if I remember, every dogma is a doctrine, but not every doctrine is a dogma.
Yes.
Okay? And pastoral practice is something totally different.
It's a horse of a different color.
Exactly.
Yes. And we're allowed, the men are allowed that latitude. So, in some things. So you've got to understand which level you're on. You can't mush them all together.
Right.
There are certain things in our church that will never change.
Exactly.
There are certain things in our church that will always evolve.
Because the church is a living, breathing institution.
Exactly.
And if it isn't a living, breathing institution, then we might as well all just leave it because it belongs in a museum.
Right. We're in the wrong place. We're not a museum for saints. We're a hospital.
We're a hospital for sinners. Yep.
But it's hard because, and see, I sit squarely in the middle because stupid humans need to have rules.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Okay? Stupid humans need to have rules. So I really.
It's true. It's just, don't mince words, Joanne. Tell us really what you think.
It's the truth. It's the truth. If we didn't have rules, come on. I'm
not disagreeing with you. Just oh yes.
I'm a DRE right now who deals in rules.
Yeah.
Okay, and hates every blasted minute of it. But you have to have them.
You do.
Yes, but and this is from a non-DRE. I also think it's the way you paint or you present the rules that either sends people away or brings them in. And I say that I have no experience in what you do, Joanne. I know it's a tough job.
And
but
Stephen, sometimes you can present it as funny and how they react to it. See, it's never anymore. It's never anymore how it's being. I think in the old days you could say, the gruff priest or the gruff nun that would present things a certain way. But now you can sit there as a pastoral minister and present it in very even logical, Dr. Spock, logical stuff. And people, if they don't want to do it, don't believe in it, or need an excuse.
Yeah.
It's the same type of thing that's happening in the public schools, I believe. Meaning, there are rules for a reason for the benefit of the child. And the same thing occurs in the church. There are rules in place for the benefit of the learning of the child. And it has nothing to do with your child doesn't know enough and needs to come for 2 years, for example, for a sacramental prep. It's the fact that the rules are in place, that this is what is needed for your child. And it's not just knowledge that you're learning. You're learning, excuse me.
She can do that. I can't. If I shut us off, everybody gets shut off. That's how come you had to hear me hack for 3 weeks. Go ahead.
Sorry, folks. It's a socialization. It's a matter of getting to know the church that you're living with and learning with. It's not just learning knowledge. And so there's reasons for these rules, and it's nowadays it's almost like we're challenging the parents to try and figure out how they can still get what they want, even though they know specifically
nobody wants rules. Nobody wants to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Nobody, you try to tell them something and immediately everybody bristles. Why? Why do I have to do that?
Right.
And even when you explain to them why they have to do that,
if you have a discussion like that and it ends in, well, this is why everybody's leaving the church.
Yeah.
You want to turn me off now? You've absolutely done that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, the situation I'm in, to be general, I have followed somebody who was there over 20 years. Same thing with my boss. So in the span of 7 months, the parish community has 2 new clergy.
Yeah.
I'm new, and the principal is new.
That's rough.
So sometimes we have to sit back and say, well, put ourselves in the people's place.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That a year ago now, none of us existed.
Yeah.
Right.
But just about the beginning of Lent is when all the changes happened. So and you have to be careful not to say to them, well, A, B, and C wasn't quite right, but so what you say is, well, that's the way it was for so long, but why can't we try it this way? And hope, and so you don't want to dog what they used to do, whether it was good or bad, but then we also don't feel like we should be held to status quo, if that makes any sense.
Well, no, you should point out the fact to them that what you and your present pastor are doing is what Holy Mother Church is asking of us.
Right.
It's not like you've just pulled this idea out of a hat, It's,
or any place else.
Or any place else. It's what the church is asking us to do.
Yeah. And it's sad because, I've heard comments from people that because of all the changes that they've actually gone to another parish. But why would you do that?
I don't know.
They put themselves in the same situation by not knowing, not being familiar with those folks either.
I know why.
So.
That as long as just as long as I'm living, there'll be nothing else as wonderful as I.
Yes, that's right. Because they're the center of their own universe.
Exactly. Yeah. And I use that. I use that, as kind of humorously, but I think it's a lot. I think Catholics anymore have no idea what surrender is. And surrender doesn't mean you give up yourself. Surrender means that you acquiesce. And we don't know how to acquiesce to God anymore.
No.
Myself included. So I'll say that straight out. It's very difficult to surrender to God's will in anything. And it's that wonderful I business, and I've learned a lot being a DRE, and too much sometimes, and that's the one thing. It's all about I. It's all about what about what we're calling you to be? We're calling you to be something better than I. God's calling you to be church better than I. And we can't see that.
No.
And that's this whole thing about not being afraid to change in the church. They don't understand. We're being called to be something better. Yes, dogma's not going to change, but we're called as a church to be something better than we are right now, and we can't see it past I.
Yeah, it's true.
Period. So please go read that and see if you can see past I.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, is what we're being called to as a church, and as a church collectively, and as church individually. You see what happens when I get started?
Well, there's that little motivational thing that says there's no I in team. Well, there's no I in church either.
Very good. From the English major, there you go. All right, gang, we have had a very interesting episode.
A very spirited conversation.
Yes.
It has, and we're rolling towards the 100th episode, and we would really like more from you as to what you'd like us to include in the 100th episode, or if you have feedback for us, please send it along. MondayMorningCatholic@gmail.com is, if you're an emailer, there you go. If you like to leave things in comment boxes, MondayMorningCatholic.net. If you like Facebook, and many of you do, there's 148 of you on our Facebook page, so it's Facebook.com/. Catholic, or be brave like Tiffany. And call the voice feedback line, 774-955-0659. Can I have all of you back again next week?
Yeah, I'm back.
No, I'm going on vacation.
Oh, again?
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 Going on vacation again.
I haven't been on vacation since March.
I could have sworn you just went somewhere.
You went somewhere.
Oh, I went to Minneapolis for a workshop.
Now that was work.
That was work.
This is pleasure. All right.
I will say there was not truly too much pleasure in that. A lot of learning.
Hey, that's a story
learning
for another time.
A lot of learning.
Great. Well, we won't see Linda for a couple of weeks. We'll see if we can get any of our other folks.
Linda will be here.
Linda will be there. Nancy won't be.
You're in the wrong place on the bottom here. I'm used to seeing this way, and everything today has been a little crackered. All right, gang. Well, folks, we are so happy that you joined us again this week. Please, we have this is the month for souls, and I'm sure many of you have family members who have already gone home, and maybe this is a great time, if you haven't thought about them in a while, to think about them, and to pray for them, because they are still out there and probably, hopefully, have gone to where they need to go and are praying for us. They're part of that communion of saints that we all hope to join with. So, say a few for them. Say a few for us. We'll say a few for you. Linda Reed, Nancy Smith, Steve Romano, myself, Joanne Mercier. We'll see you next time. Ciao for now.